My name is Alina Winters. I am 26 years old and I live in Maplewood, Illinois. My life has always been pretty standard, nothing particularly glamorous or outrageous about it. I have a steady job at a local bookstore where I help customers find the latest bestsellers and share my love of literature. I am known for my kindness and my ability to listen when others need to talk. But despite my calm exterior, there have been moments in my past that have shaken me to my core. This is a story about friendship, betrayal, and the sweet satisfaction of watching those who wronged you get what they deserve without you having to lift a finger. Growing up, I had always been the kind of person who valued loyalty above all else. When it came to friends, I was the one who would stand by them through tough times, lend a shoulder to cry on, and support them in whatever way I could. My best friend at the time, Jason, and I were inseparable. We did everything together and shared our dreams. The future always seemed bright when we were side by side. I had a crush on this girl named Mia. She was a vibrant spirit, full of energy, and livened up every room she stepped into. I was content just being her friend because it felt special to be in her orbit. However, Jason took it upon himself to pursue her. When I found out they had started dating, my heart plunged into despair. I felt as though the ground beneath me had crumbled, leaving me adrift. It was like watching a train wreck happen in slow motion. At first, I thought I could just be happy for them, but the situation quickly grew untenable. Mia, despite her magnetic charm, was incredibly dramatic. I soon discovered that beneath that bubbly exterior, she was manipulative and controlling. She thrived on attention and chaos. I had no idea how toxic she truly was until I saw the toll she took on Jason. His carefree laughter faded, replaced by stress and frustration as he tried to keep up with her demands. It was a painful reminder of the feelings I had lost, or rather, relinquished without a fight. Watching them together was unbearable. They fought almost every day, and their relationship was a roller coaster ride of highs and lows, leaving both of them emotionally drained. It was as if my worst nightmare had come to life. Despite my initial heartbreak, every time I saw them together, arguing in public or whispering harsh words, my sentiment began to shift from sorrow to something else. I was starting to feel relief. As time passed, I realized that I was better off without either of them in my life. Years went by, and while I managed to move on from that chapter, another painful moment crept into my life, drawing me back into past traumas. I had developed a solid group of friends in college, and I cherished our bond. We were eclectic, a perfect mix of personalities. However, beneath the surface, jealousy and competition were brewing, especially when it came to my achievements. That was when I noticed a slow, creeping, isolating behavior from Sam and Leela, two of my closest friends. At first, I brushed things off as my imagination, thinking they were busy with their personal lives. But it became apparent that they were showing signs of exclusion. They would plan outings without including me or share inside jokes that made me feel left out. It was heartbreaking to witness the friends I once thought would always have my back become distant. As much as it hurt, I decided to focus on my own journey. I channeled my energy into my studies and my passion for literature. I tried to shrug off the pain, but it was hard to ignore the whispers and laughter that would fill the air when I walked into the room. It was as if I was a ghost who had entered a space where I used to belong. One day, as I scrolled through social media, I came across a picture of Sam and Leela standing in front of an old, worn-out house. I recognized it immediately. They had bought it together and planned to renovate it, or so they said. At first, I was happy for them. It seemed like a great venture, a chance for camaraderie. But as I saw the updates on their progress, my feelings slowly transformed. They were excitedly posting videos of their renovations, but the house was falling apart and constantly needing repairs. As the weeks passed, I overheard whispers at work about how overwhelmed they were. With Leela getting a new job that paid well, it became a race for who could do more with less. It started to dawn on me that their friendship was as brittle as the old wood they were trying to repair. Jealousy can often act like a poison that festers and destroys everything in its path. While I was sitting in my favorite cafe, the familiar pang of hurt crept back in. I should have felt anger or desire for retaliation, but instead, I felt a sense of calm. I realized that I had lost nothing. In fact, I had gained everything by distancing myself from their negativity. I heard through mutual friends that their friendship had begun to crack, and soon, they were constantly bickering, arguing over color choices and materials that never worked out. Often, I caught glimpses of their struggles on social media, and deep down, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. This is where things took a turn for the worse. Sam was posting nonstop about the renovation machine he thought was going to solve every one of their problems. But that machine turned out to be a disaster. They ended up spending far more money than they had initially planned, and the original charm of the old house became an anchor pulling them down. Their dream of a happy and successful cohabitation turned into a nightmare filled with stress and resentment. As I watched their friendship spiral, I recalled the times in my life where I had wished ill on Jason and Mia, wanting to see them fail in their toxic relationship. But I found that often, karma finds a way of working itself out. I realized I really did not need to do anything but let what was happening unfold. They were paying for the toxicity of their actions, and I had managed to become a better version of myself by focusing on growth and positivity. While it tugged at my heart, I couldn't help but enjoy witnessing their implosion, aware that I did not lift a finger to bring their downfall. Eventually, they lost contact altogether. Sam decided to sell his half of the house, taking a massive financial hit, while Leela moved away to start anew, both burdens weighing them down. The connections they had once shared dissolved like sugar in hot water, leaving little more than bitterness in their wake. I remember the day I received a message from a mutual friend, informing me how they drifted apart and no longer spoke. I felt a wave of mixed emotions. Their downfall had not only liberated me from their toxic energy, but had also left me feel triumphant in a way I never expected. I felt a sense of fulfillment knowing that sometimes revenge comes in the simplest form, through observation. It is like sitting back and witnessing a book's plot unfolding without interference, realizing that every action has a consequence. People often try to seek revenge through aggressive measures or direct attacks, but sometimes the true reward lies in focusing on your own life, allowing the past to fade into insignificance. They inadvertently healed my wounds while damaging their own lives beyond repair. Today, I still frequent that same bookstore where I work. I wear the lessons I learned like armor. I realize now that the pain and heartache I encountered only made me stronger. As I watch others engage, share laughter, and sometimes fall into tumultuous relationships, I remind myself to be grateful for the lessons they taught me. I do not hold bitterness for Jason or Mia, nor do I harbor any negative feelings towards Sam and Leela. Instead, I keep my heart open and my ambitions high while allowing karma to do its thing. And every so often, I smile at the thought that sometimes, revenge is simply allowing life to play out as it will, knowing that toxic behavior will always catch up to those that dwell in it. This was the unexpected twist I had come to cherish in life, a reminder that I have the power to define my own journey without the need for revenge. Instead of seeking to hurt those who had wronged me, I invested in myself, cultivated friendships that uplifted, and let life take its course. Over time, it became clear that the most satisfying form of karma is not revenge. It is simply flourishing in the face of challenges, while they remain stuck in their own web of toxicity. And for that, I have found joy and comfort in just being me.